This is the Khmer Times News. My name is Paolo Bonini, and these are your headlines. A Cambodian MP is gunned down in Thailand. Blood flows freely as a drunk driver murders young children. And a military spokesman makes it very clear flashing lights are not for weddings. But firstly, let me ask you a question. Do you know what a red notice is? Well, a red notice is an international warrant for arrest. So if a major criminal flees your country, you can issue a red notice, and when another country encounters your wanted man, they will arrest him, and then they will ship him back to you. This week, a very rare red notice was enforced, as we see in this headline. Interpol issues red notice to arrest suspect in Cambodian MP slaying. Now, this story is very much ongoing, as a Cambodian MP has been shot and killed in Thailand, and as to why he was killed is still not known. The arrested man is Mr. Kim Srin, a 24-year-old Cambodian, implicated in the fatal shooting of Mr. Kim Ya, a former Cambodian opposition leader. It is said that Mr. Kim Srin is accused of acting as a spotter for the gunman. The gunman himself is a Thai Marine who was paid 60,000 Thai baht, about $17,000 for the hit. The gunman himself was soon captured after the assassination and is currently being held at a prison in Bangkok. What is known so far is the MP himself went from Siem Reap to Bangkok by bus. He arrived at about 6 p.m. and it was then on leaving the bus the Cambodian man signalled to the shooter. The Thai sniper then took aim and gunned down the MP. The latest update has now named another suspect. The police are now searching for this man, saying he is the mastermind behind the MP's slaying. This most curious of cases is starting to unfold, but as of yet, no reason has been given as to why these men killed a prominent MP, and in doing so, placed a very large target directly on themselves. On this week's Crime Desk, a man who is drunk murders small children, a man who is drunk disables small children, and another man buries a hammer in his colleague's head. Let's have a look at a photo. Here it is. Not much of a picture, really. Could have been taken anywhere. It's just a few shoes, but some of them are very, very tiny. Well, all these shoes are no longer needed, as all the people that once wore them are now, in fact, dead, including those of the small children. So, how did it all come about? Well, if you're a regular viewer, you will be ahead of me, and you will probably be able to have a jolly good guess. Here is the headline. A family destroyed, 3 dead after Phnom Penh drunk driver crashes into family. Yep, here we are again, another tale of a lunatic driver. A Phnom Penh family has been ripped apart after a drunk driver killed 3 family members. 2 of those that died were very small children. The incident occurred in Dangkor district, Phnom Penh. Witnesses who saw the incident say that a Toyota truck was driving at high speeds when the driver ploughed into the motorcycle coming towards him. The Honda Click was hit with such force the driver killed the father, a small child, and a baby. The mother was also on the bike. She was the one that was holding the baby, and she had both her legs broken in the accident. The car was a taxi, and the taxi driver had to be pulled from the vehicle. He was immediately arrested, and a few days later was charged and jailed. Here is the man who killed the children. Hang on, I think we can do better than that. Right, here he is. It is this man that drove drunk and in doing so left a mother without her two small children and without her husband. Her life is utterly destroyed. Okay, so our first story there was of a drunk driver slaughtering a family. So why don't we have another drunk driver wiping out 11 people on a well-lit, busy road? Here is your headline. Drunk driver who injured 11 in Phnom Penh detained. Detained is the key word, rather than fled the scene, on the run, or disappeared over a garden fence. Let's first, though, take a look at the scene itself. Here you see the debris field left by this drunk driver. Please note how unbelievably well lit the road is, and it's also a bridge. A bridge is a place where you slow down. Do not overtake and use extra caution. But not, of course, if you're pissed. 11 people were seriously injured on the Cambodia-Japanese Friendship Bridge in Phnom Penh at 1 a.m. when this guy, a 35-year-old male who was driving a Toyota Prius, went speeding across it and hit a motorcycle towing a trailer, injuring at least 11 people. Most of those injured were yet again children. Now, are you ready to quote the line? Here we go. After the accident, the driver did not try and help the injured children, nor did he call for an ambulance. What he did was fled the scene. But residents living nearby chased the man and they apprehended him. These people who apprehend these guys, in my mind, should be given a monetary reward for saving the police an awful lot of time by detaining this awful man. After all, if he was not caught at the scene, he could have denied that he was drunk. The driver faces 1 to 3 years in jail. To finish up our crime desk this week, how about a good old-fashioned murder with a blunt object? On this occasion, it's a hammer. The headline read, Fugitive who killed man in Sihanoukville guest house captured in Siem Reap. Now, before we start, as it's a bit of a theme this week, let's have a look at the headline photo again, because what I know is the public do like to look into the face of a murderer, as we have a strange fascination for those that kill. But the question with this photo is, who is it? Well, after studying the photo, I have worked out that the guys so beautifully framed are in fact police officers enjoying a selfie, and the killer is in fact the man at the back. Now, what he did was incredibly brutal, for he was working at a Sihanoukville guest house, and at about 1:30 a.m, an argument broke out with himself and Mr. Mengley, a 40-year-old foreman working at the same guest house. It seems the suspect and the foreman argued about their work that day, and judging as it was in the early hours of the morning, they may well have been alcohol involved with this argument. For when the argument erupted further, the assailant could not control his anger, for when Mr. Mengley turned to leave, the accused man picked up a large hammer and drove it deep into the back of the victim's skull, a blow so savage it killed him. The murderer dropped the hammer and then, rather oddly, went to tell people what he had done. And after doing that, he then decided to flee to Siem Reap, where, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, he was soon detained. He has now been jailed and he awaits his date in court. And we end the week with what I would say is a good news story, as it very clearly relates to stopping people abusing their position. The headline read, Individuals booked over misuse of siren-equipped vehicle. Actually, here's the truth. This is a bugbear for way too many people, as there are so many with flashing lights on their cars for no good reason. And of course, there's those that put VIP stickers on their vehicles, then park them in the most ludicrous of places. Well, the driver of this car, badged with Cambodian Armed Forces license plates, has now been pulled in, as he used a siren-equipped vehicle with the RCAF license plates to escort a wedding. The wedding journey was from Phnom Penh to Pasat province. Needless to say, weddings are not really the reason for sirens and military escorts, as a ministry spokesman clearly stated. He said, "Sirens are reserved for the King, the Queen Mother, the Senate President, the National Assembly President, the Prime Minister, of course, and some international dignitaries. So, not some random Joe off to a wedding then." The convoy was filmed by a member of the public, and when it was shown on social media, outrage soon followed. An immediate investigation was launched, and a Brigadier General High said that a search for the RCAF license plate registry has revealed that this vehicle was not even an asset of the military police. Officers traced the individuals involved and summoned them into the National Police headquarters in Phnom Penh for questioning. And they were soon put in their place, and they in return promised not to do it again. It's time to have a look ahead and see what the weather has in store for us next week.
Rightio, here we are at the weather, and let's go to our photo of the week just to make the weather a bit more interesting. And it's this. I spotted this in Macro and Siem Reap, and quite incredibly, it's an electric shaver for babies. Yeah, right, okay, yeah, you go figure. As a friend said to me, exactly where do you shave a baby? To which I responded, I don't know. So anyway, if you do have a hairy baby you need shaving, you need to go and get a V153 by the great company called VGR, who are a bit mental, basically. Okay, now let me get it in the upright position. There it is, right in front of the laptop. And what do we see on the weather? Ooh, look at that. No rain across the board, which is nice. It is a tad colder, obviously, but it's the usual mix. It's cloud, it's sunshine, and I'll tell you what, it's bloody lovely out there.
This has been the Khmer Times News. Please do subscribe and comment and stay up to date with all the breaking news by following us on both Facebook and Telegram. This has been Paolo Bonini, and that was the week that was. I'll see you next weekend for your weekly roundup.